Hi, everybody. How many people are there in the room?
About 100?
100?
About 1,000?
Awesome. Well, I was going to say I know many of you, but that actually may not be the case. But really happy to be here today. I wish I could be there to say hello and work with you guys today. But we have Web3 Summit next week. We're trying to launch this network called Kusama. So hopefully I see some of you in Berlin next week. But if not, I'm always available. So I am going to. Can you see my screen? Okay, so I just have a couple minutes, but basically, I'm Jack, and I work at the Web3 Foundation. I work on partnerships and community stuff, and here as a resource for all of you guys in this cohort. Congratulations on making it through the first LongHash Polkadot specific cohort. We hope there's many more in the future, and thank you LongHash for hosting this. This is really awesome, and hopefully the beginning of something really special. So I'm going to talk a little bit, I just have 5 minutes here, about building your business on Polkadot, what makes it unique. Some of it might be redundant, so I'm going to try to go through quickly those pieces and try to get some stuff that's actually helpful for everybody there today. So Polkadot is a really unique system, and I don't think many of us, even internally at Web3 Foundation or on the development teams, Parity and others, know exactly what it's going to be used for yet. Excuse me, or what the most important things are. So we're seeing an interesting bifurcation at the second level, so at the parachain level, between domain-specific blockchains and DAOs, which is kind of surprising. So Polkadot is a platform for autonomous economies and markets to kind of take advantage of the shared security and access kind of Web 3.0. And this is important because it allows potentially fully autonomous digital native entities that are able to grow and capture more value for their stakeholders online. Polkadot's the first iteration of that, but we expect also all of the parachains to be doing the same thing. And that's potentially really exciting. And Kusama Network will be one of the first. So the best way to prepare for Polkadot from a parachain level is to build with Substrate. And whenever Cumulus is finished in the next 2 months, that'll be kind of the parachain development kit, if you will. And many of you know what Substrate is, but it comes with it's a toolkit that comes with a bunch of stuff. So a lot of the lower level plumbing is handled, so application developers can just focus on what makes their chain unique. And it comes with a bunch of modules. I don't think people realize that how much is already done. You could potentially spin up a stable coin or a zero knowledge protocol, a blockchain protocol, and just code your one module and use these reusable modules from other folks, because all of this is open source and we're using it to build Polkadot as well. But it comes with nice things like a nice UI, a JavaScript implementation, and then it's unique from other SDKs because of the runtime upgrades and swappable consensus and these things. But a lot of stuff is already there. So some of you in the room today that are graduating, I guess, though you already have businesses, so it's already awesome. Or like Polkascan, I mean, the Polka Wallet. There's a lot done in the ecosystem for you, whether it be the modules or the actual infrastructure, so that you don't have that. So you can just focus maybe on your piece. So my advice is just reuse what's already there. Connect with other people in the community. If you want introductions to anyone in the Polkadot ecosystem, I'm always here as a resource, because it's best whenever everyone kind of focuses on what they're best at, and then drills down on those things. So there's many great teams around you now. Make friends with them, and then consider us a resource for connecting you with other people in the ecosystem. But that's the beauty of the open source community. So my first piece of advice would be, if I was building, like, not at the Web3 Foundation, building a business in the ecosystem, I would do it I would start with building something that can only be done with Polkadot. And granted, with wallets and block explorers, et cetera, these are supposed to be generalized across blockchains, et cetera, but they also have unique value propositions, right? They're like a multi-chain wallet, a multi-asset wallet, or a multi-chain explorer. So they're also a little bit unique as well. But if I was building an application kind of that sits on top of a parachain or a couple different parachains, I'd make sure I was building something that could only be done on Polkadot, where you have this composability model of being able to share features across all of these different chains, or building a domain-specific parachain that couldn't exist under an architecture, say like Cosmos, where there's no shared security, right? You couldn't really get by with doing a domain-specific chain in a different architecture like you can in Polkadot. So, and then there's this new design space, because you can compose features across blockchains for the first time with Polkadot. You could potentially have a application that lives on multiple shards or multiple parachains at once, which is an entirely new design space, and it doesn't compete with anything, right? You're just building specifically for the Polkadot architecture, and that's really exciting as well. So some of the things I would do when building that business are take advantage of these really unique features. Gavin and the development team have already done had a bite at the apple when they built Ethereum. So a lot of the stuff they're building here with Polkadot and Substrate solves real problems like off-chain workers, which is one of the really cool little Easter eggs in Substrate, where you can actually have more decentralized oracles that allow for you to take a lot of computation off-chain. And in a better way than oracles, or Spree, which basically has kind of a dependency at the relay chain where parachains can opt in to sharing this code, so the interchain message passing is faster. And then Parathreads, which Gavin will talk about at .con on Sunday, okay, so say you don't have millions of dollars initially, and you don't want to run an initial parachain offering to raise dots. Maybe you just pay as you go with the Parathread model. So that's pretty exciting, and potentially lowers the barrier to entry for building a blockchain and getting into the ecosystem. Next thing I'd say, and then I'll finish up, are there proven business models in crypto? Not that many. So obviously you can sell a token, and then someone buys the token or buys a part of the business that controls the token. And then outside of that, it's about building a product people will pay for, or people can't put down, maybe like CryptoKitties, or building a technology you can license or patent, maybe like a really good zero knowledge proof thing or something like this. So those are two kind of verticals of businesses, and since I'm running out of time, I won't dive too deep into them. So you're graduating today, congratulations. What's next, right? So a lot of you're thinking about fundraising. Can you scale this? Can you hire employees? There's a couple different funding paths in our ecosystem. One's PEF, the Polkadot Ecosystem Fund, which we put on with Polychain. And it's still kind of slow going, but it hasn't made a lot of investments yet, but it's a potential. If you're interested, you can get in touch with me. The Polkadot Treasury should definitely be considered a funding mechanism. So this dot sale later this year, where we have 10% of dots we're selling from Web3 Foundation, if those aren't all sold, we'll probably just capitalize the Treasury. So the Treasury is going to have significant capital to deploy in the ecosystem. And then lastly is the grants, and then introductions to our Web3 Foundation. So a bunch of stuff we'd love to fund. If you guys and some of them have viable business models like bridges. You can, as a bridge authority, you can charge fees. If you're building an ID, you can have a licensing model. And then there's a couple things that we just love to see built, like browser extensions, stable coins, domain-specific chains. So here's my contact information. If anyone wants to get in touch, please do. It doesn't seem we don't have time for questions today, but I'm always around, and feel free to reach out. Thank you for listening, and congrats again, and thanks LongHash.